Conflict of interest?
Yeah, I'm in conflict for Pine Drive.
And Councillor Duran, you're also in conflict of interest, so you'll have to mute the phone. I don't know, how do you do that there, Mr. Kelly? Just don't listen?
Just, yeah, if he can just.
Okay, so approval of the agenda, we have to add a item to it, which is the Sir John A. Macdonald statue. That has to go in the open session. And again, it's only just to provide information. Mr. Kelly, what information did you get about the?
So the intent, Your Worship, was to seek council's input and whether they wanted a updated staff report or if they have other directions for us in which to deal with it, but it's here for council's consideration to send it in any direction they want for more information and or whatever else, Your Worship.
Yeah. Councillor Creel.
Yeah, with respect to the John A. Macdonald statute, I'd like to recommend the City Council, let's go back to the Standing Committee of Economic Development, Tourism and Events. I believe it falls under that parameter, so that the committee could take a much broader look in terms of policy and in terms of gaining more research and having more deliberations as opposed to making a decision here tonight. So that's what I would like to bring to.
Councillor Tweel,
yeah.
could we just add it to the agenda, and could you also, when it comes up to the time?
Well, can you not do it right now?
We'll defer.
Can we not do it right now?
Mr. Kelly, do you wanna-
So right now, Your Worship, council can either add it to the agenda and debate it when it comes up, or if council does not want to debate it tonight, they can forward it to another future meeting, Your Worship.
So I just want to add it to the agenda, and then you can defer it.
No, I want to do it right now.
Your Worship, also, I think there's a feeling amongst council to deal with it tonight and have it done with. It's kind of like take a Band-Aid off.
So you want to add it to the agenda?
Languishing around for 3 weeks, hanging over our heads. We've got enough going on. Like, if we can decide
Yeah,
tonight
or get more-
to deal with it, deal with it. What I would like to know is, it was on the meeting agenda that I received, it was on the closed session. How did it get into the media being on a closed session?
I spoke to Mr. Councillor Duffy, I spoke to it, and I spoke to Mr. Kelly this morning, and again, I think it was fluid whether it was going to go on the open or closed agenda, because when I spoke to Mr. Kelly regarding the subsection 119, or section 119 of the MGA subsection 1H, Mr. Kelly?
H and or D, Your Worship.
Or D, it was very loose. He confirmed it that it should go to the open.
But you know what, Your Worship, I heard on the radio this morning, the impression I was left as a resident and a citizen was that the announcers read that the city council was going to determine the fate or the future of Sir John A. Macdonald behind closed doors tonight at City Council.
No.
That's what came across.
I know.
That put us in a difficult position
Yeah.
today with 17 emails.
And more to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and more to come.
So
And
when
it's,
it's closed session, it should be no publicity whatsoever.
correct. Fully understand that.
It's not
But
for a sinister reason either. It's to give us time to thoroughly examine the issue and do what we have to do the right thing.
so that's what Councillor Tweel is suggesting.
And I will be suggesting that we deal with it tonight.
Well, I appreciate that, Councillor Duffy, but in all fairness, as you know, we operate under the committee structure
Sure.
around here. The committee,
Yeah.
which Councillor Ramsey chairs, did not deal with this issue. And it's the committee that is responsible,
Yeah.
right?
With due respect, Councilor Tweel, it shouldn't be here right now.
That's right.
Before it goes there.
So point
Okay,
of order.
point of order from,
Just
Mr.
that this is.
Mr. Kelly, just
either
one
you
second.
Agree to add it or not add it, not debating.
I
do
don't
you want to add it or not add it to
No,
the open
no.
agenda?
I will go with that.
Add it?
Yes.
Okay, so we have to
The
have some,
topic, the issue.
yeah. So do you want to add, someone second to add it to the agenda?
It should go to the committee.
Yeah. Seconded by Councillor Ramsey. Okay, we've had the debate. All those in favor to put it on the agenda, put up your hand. 4, 5. All those against.
Have to get the other two online, Your Worship.
And Mr. Councillor McLeod, yea or nay?
In favor.
Councillor Duran,
Yes.
7-2, so it goes on the agenda.
It does? I thought you needed approval, unanimous vote by council.
So
For a
it's
new item.
already on the closed session of the agenda, so it's just taking from the closed session to the open session.
So the rules don't apply.
That's a good point.
I thought you need unanimous,
Yeah.
you need a unanimous vote of city
do.
council
You do.
to add an item
Yeah.
onto the agenda.
That's
So
a good point.
therefore,
For a special meeting, that is correct.
Correct.
So therefore it doesn't go.
It was on your closed session, and so it's just moving from one to the other, but if council doesn't want to add, and there's issues, well, obviously, this is a point we have to further
Yeah.
clarify, but ordinarily, you have to have unanimous, that's correct.
As presiding officer, Councillor Twill is correct. We've been told continually that if it doesn't get unanimous consent, correct, Councillor
correct.
Twill? It doesn't go on the agenda.
Because
So
it was
the
on
vote,
it was on the agenda, it was just by error in the wrong part of the agenda. So it's on the agenda.
was in closed session, so 7 to
If I
2.
could just point of order, is that not something we defer to our COA? He's to confirm to us whether or not that can go on or not. So I'm going to defer to you.
And in this case, I'm sorry, this is a unique situation that we really never dealt with this before, so I can't give you a definitive answer.
Yeah. So the rule from the chair is that it's 7 to 2, doesn't go on the agenda.
okay,
It doesn't.
does not.
Because we didn't get
Goes back to the
unanimous.
committee.
Yeah. So.
Can I
if-
just ask though, did
Just
it,
1 second. We will defer to the committee, economic development, because did I not already send out the emails from
Well, I don't know what you're looking for from the committee.
a discussion on it and where we go with it? And a
So that's gonna be
recommendation.
Another month down the road.
Okay, then that's,
The
then,
committee hasn't dealt with it.
yeah, that's what it'll deal with.
can I just ask a quick question? From any of the research I did, does it fall under that committee?
That's
because-
what I'm looking
This
for, too.
was
it
an
does.
initiative from 2008 that was done, and I don't know, like, would you know? What
No.
committee
I'm
does it
surprised
fall
it's under
under?
our committee.
So the reason it went to economic development, because the Arts and Culture Advisory Council is the responsibility of economic development. Correct?
This is not arts and culture.
But they didn't have anything to do with
But it is an arts and culture issue because
That's right.
we'd like to get their advice.
So,
But historically, this started with a Birthplace Confederation initiative.
Which was economic development.
Was it under
Yes,
economic?
yes, it was.
But
Mr. Kelly?
I wasn't here then.
I know, but you're our COA, so you need to answer those, you have to tell
it
us.
involves downtown Charlottetown.
I'd say-
It involves
I'd say
Discover
should-
Charlottetown. It involves CADC.
Would-
They should be part of the input to this.
And those associations tie in with economic development, tourism, and tourism. Councilor Ramsey, is that correct?
At the
Is
end,
that correct?
In events.
at the end of the day, Your Worship, in response to Councillor Yankoff, this is a council decision.
Yeah.
And the sooner you can bring it here with or without, at the end of the day, it's gonna come here anyway, so if you wanna meet on it next week, we can do that, Your Worship, and get it resolved at that time.
It'll go back to committee, as suggested. Councilor Rivard.
Easy way.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yes.
in the past, we've had items in closed sessions that once we move back into open session, we'd have to vote publicly, but on our agenda, it never showed up in the open meeting. So I don't know why something like this would be different.
If you wish, I can try to get hold of Karen and ask her.
You understand? So we'd go into a closed session in the past, and in the closed session, we would have a
Just 1 second.
discussion, and then we would come out of closed session, and we'd vote on an item in public.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Yeah. So, do you know what? We can belabor this for
But it's-
quite a while.
Can I just finish though? But secondly, is that we've created, or Your Worship, you've created through the media an expectation that we deal with this. I
No,
mean,
no, let me clarify there, Councillor Rivard. I said that it would go back to council. I already sent it to the Arts and Culture Advisory Council. So we're seeking more information because it was an issue that was dealt with back in 2018. It was brought to the attention of council at that point in time. So let's see if we can go back, as suggested by Councillor Twill, who sits on economic development.
That's correct.
Defer it back to the committee. Okay.
But Your Worship, can I ask one more question again, please? What are we looking for information? We can't rewrite the history books. So I guess I'm trying to figure out what we're trying to go about. What information are we going to have? That's, I mean, the question up before council is ultimately going to be: do we remove Sir John A? Do we keep Sir John A? Do we keep Sir John A with maybe a plaque explaining the story? I think those are the options that are I don't know why we would have to delay this to take it back to committee. I can't see the committee coming with any additional information, so I don't see why we would ponder this. I mean, the history books are not being rewritten. Nothing's changing.
Motion, Your Worship, to move it to committee to see if there's support, or bring it back to.
Yeah,
to
so
council.
the vote was already taken. We didn't,
Just the one, Your Worship.
we're going to defer it back to the committee.
You have to get.
That's right.
You have to move it back to committee, Your Worship.
That's right.
You want to vote to defer it back to the committee?
Wherever council wants to go, whether it's back to a committee or to a future council meeting, but we just need clear direction
Well-
by the majority, Your Worship.
Okay, move it, Councillor Twill, to defer it back to economic development. Do you wanna
That's
move-
correct.
Move a resolution.
I move that the standing committee responsible
For economic development.
for statutes and other relevant issues of this nature be referred back to the committee, because the committee did not discuss it.
Okay, good. So moved, seconded, seconded. Okay. All those in favor deferred back to the committee, put up your hands. Okay, 2. Councillor McLeod? Yea or nay?
Not in favor.
Councillor Durant?
No.
Okay. The other councillors are, so it's 7-2
Opposed.
not to defer it. Correct?
Yeah, but you need a unanimous vote to go the other way, and you don't have it.
It could come at the next council meeting, Your Worship, that we're going
Next.
to have next week anyway. There's two council meetings next week.
There's a special meeting next week. Okay,
Great.
good.
Good.
We're all right with that? Okay, so we have first reading of the zoning development bylaw, rezone 9 Pine Drive from R1L to R3.
Yes, Your Worship.
Is that
to
correct?
adopt-
Point of order, Your Worship.
Correct?
Point of order. On this particular issue, second reading,
It was first reading.
This is first reading.
I'm sorry?
This is
First reading.
Okay, first reading. Was the neighborhood and community affected by this resolution? Were they notified via the media
Councilman Potato.
through communications that first reading was coming to the floor tonight? Were they notified? I mean, they're very, very interested, as you know. This has been going on for 12 years. So has the neighborhood and community been notified by the city of Charlottetown that first reading is coming to the table here tonight?
Does it require notification for first reading, second reading?
We
Council?
advertise, Your Worship, as we are duly responsible to do so. That has been done, and that is the notification for the public.
Yeah, so we did notify
So it
by,
was sent out?
just one second. We notified by our agenda, yeah, and that's sent out publicly, correct? Yeah, the agenda, you just go online, charlottetown.ca. Councillor Twill?
Yeah, well, the issue is, Councilor Ramsey, since it's a very contentious issue, that the people in that community neighborhood are really upset, as you know, I thought it'd be common decency. I mean, 24 hours notice is one thing, but at least, you know, a 2 or 3 day notice that they could dial into the meeting here tonight by online. That's why I raised the concern. It's not just a housekeeping matter or an issue where an entire community's on side. The community's not on side, so I'm just wondering why, in fact, proper notification wasn't sent out, because they don't know, you know, what the status is. So if you're doing first reading, there was nothing in the newspaper to indicate that first reading was going tonight, and if it was, I apologize. Was it?
I mean, I'm not gonna preach me because I'm opposed to it, so.
So,
Okay.
so the issue is, Councillor Twill, is for every first reading, we don't put an ad in the newspaper.
But why the rush, Your Worship?
No, I'm just saying, I'm answering your question,
Okay,
right?
okay. My next question is, why the rush?
So, Your Worship, if I could, ordinarily, this would have been dealt with at the council meeting. As you recall, council changed the approach, and at the time, we did not have first reading documents ready to prepare, so that's why they're here. So it would have been done last week, but because it was not at the council meeting, it's here tonight.
Great. Okay, do you want to read it, sir?
Your Worship, to adopt bylaw P8Z2.206, a bylaw to amend the zoning and development bylaw to rezone the property at 9 Pine Drive, PID 393-322 from single detached residential R1L zone to the medium density residential R3 zone. Be resolved that the bylaw to amend the City of Charlottetown zoning and development bylaw P8Z2.2026 as it pertains to 9 Pine Drive, PID 393-322 as attached, be read for the first time, moved by Councillor Varad, seconded by Councillor Councillor Yanko.
Okay, now there is discussion on it, correct, Mr. Kelly?
Yes, Your Worship.
Yeah. Any discussion? Okay. Councillor Twill?
Yeah, Your Worship, I can tell you that people in this neighborhood, in this community, are very, very upset with council's decision. That's no secret. That's no secret. So I would like to move a deferral to maybe have council meet with the neighborhood and community. This has been going on for 12 years, ladies and gentlemen. 12 years. They never in their wildest dreams thought that there was going to be a development of this magnitude, a much bigger development, being constructed, and which is in an area which is primarily single-family dwellings. So I would like to move a deferral to give the community an opportunity, time to see, what are the options and what are the opportunities. They never in their wildest dreams thought this was going to take place. In light of the fact that the last time it went to Iraq ruled in favor of the community as opposed to council's decision, and this is a much bigger development. They're not against development, but they'd like to have a development that would blend into the community.
Okay.
So I move a deferral.
Okay, so seconded by Deputy Mayor Cody. So the deferral is on the floor. Does anyone wish to speak to the deferral? Councillor Vern, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, sorry, so Councillor Tweedle is asking about options. Again, there's I guess two appeal options for the neighborhood if they choose to do so. One is appealing council's decision, which can't be appealed until the second reading is done, because then it becomes an official decision. The second appeal can be done after a building permit is issued, and I think there's 21 days after each of those. So again, if you're looking for options, I mean, for the neighborhood, I think the best thing to do is again get it to the second reading to make it official. Then they can exercise their appeal if they would like to. But until that happens, everything just kind of sits in limbo. So I don't know what a deferral would do, and I mean that genuinely. I just don't know.
Councillor Twill?
Well, my deferral wasn't based on appeals. I think the residents are starting to learn about what the options are in terms of appeals. I wasn't talking about appeals, and this is no disrespect to you as the chair of planning. It's a tough job, but nonetheless, I believe you moved the deferral for 3 or 4 months to give an opportunity for the developer and the residents to come together. That didn't happen, and I'm not trying to criticize you, because I know the residents are not going to entertain the idea of a development of a 4-story apartment building, 41 units in their community. Okay, they're not having it. So the reason why I moved the deferral is maybe members of city council could go out into this community and meet with the residents and hear firsthand what the residents are talking about and some of the issues, and maybe we can learn something from the community. After all, it is their community. They're the ones that have lived there. Some of these folks have lived there for 60 and 70 years, and they take a great deal of pride in their community. And, the rules of the game are going one way for 60 and 70 years, then all of a sudden, there's a dramatic change. And I think we as a council can do better. Again, I'm not here to criticize how you voted or what way you. All I'm trying to do is be proactive, and maybe it wouldn't hurt for council to support a deferral so that we could be proactive and go out and meet with the community and talk to these folks. I think maybe a solution, a good solution, could come of it, and that's why that's what's motivating me to go with the deferral, as opposed to just read the letters to the editor today. Message is loud and clear. People are very, very upset.
Thank you. Councillor, did you want to speak?
Oh, yes. I didn't know you were there. Well, we already done that. That's what the deferral was all about, Councillor Twill, was for the developer and the residents out there to get together, and the residents refused to meet until everything was taken off the table. So we've already been down that road, and that's more of a road than we very seldom go down that road. So it's already been offered to them.
Last time, Councillor.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Councillor Duffy, but in that particular instance, the residents were not interested in that specific development. So with that in mind, what I'm suggesting is, okay, that exercise didn't work out, that objective didn't work out. I think we owe it to the people that lived in this community again, I want to reiterate, some of them 60 and 70 years. We owe it to them to say, okay, the first objective didn't work out, but this is all members of city council meeting with that community. We could have a meeting at the Maple Room. We could have a meeting in the Sportsplex. We can respect social distancing, and I think I believe a reasonable decision or a reasonable solution could come of it, having real good dialogue. So that's what I wanted to bring to the table here tonight.
And that's already been done, Councillor Twill, at the Charlotte Hotel in the province's room. We had a public meeting. We touched that base, so.
Councillor McLeod, do you want to add anything? Are you trying to get in there?
No, I'm good. Just
Okay, let's, questions call on the deferral, moved by Councillor Twill, seconded by Deputy Mayor Cody. Councillor McLeod, are you in favour of the deferral?
not in favor.
Councillor Twill,
In favor.
Councillor Yankoff,
Not in favor.
Councillor Rivard,
Not in favor.
Deputy Mayor Cody. In favour. Councillor Duffy
Not in favor.
and Councillor Ramsey. So it's 4-3 to deny the deferral. Okay, now shall it carry? I'm going to go back to the first reading, and he's already read it, did you, Mr.?
Yeah, sure.
Shall it carry?
Part one.
Okay, so I'll have to go through the list again. Shall it carry? Councillor McLeod,
In favor.
Councillor Twill,
Not in favor.
Councillor Yankoff,
In favor.
Councillor Rivard,
Pass.
Deputy Mayor Cody.
Not in favor.
Councillor Duffy,
In favor.
and Councillor Ramsey.
Not in favor.
4-3 for the,
Passing.
Yeah.
Part two, Your Worship, is be resolved that the zoning and development amendment bylaw PHZ 2.2026 be approved and that it be read a second time at the next regular meeting of council, Your Worship.
shall it carry? To read it the second time, correct?
Yes, Your Worship. That's moved by Councillor Bard, second by Councillor Yankoff.
Shall it carry?
Is this for the second reading?
No, just that it be read the second time at the next meeting, for the second meeting.
At the next regular meeting, Your Worship.
Do we have to go through the roll call again?
Yes, Your Worship.
Okay. Councillor McLeod, shall it be read again for the second reading at the next meeting? Yea or nay?
Yes.
Councillor
favor.
Twill,
Not in favor.
Councillor Yankoff,
In favor.
Councillor Rivard,
In favor.
Deputy Mayor Cody. No. Councillor Duffy,
Yes.
Councillor Ramsey.
No.
4-3. Okay, is that all right, sir?
Yes, Your Worship.
Okay, so we have B, Public Works Resolutions. So we have three here, what is it, rescind and reapprove three tenders?
Yeah, so we are standardizing our approach when it comes to tenders. Your Worship, there were some
Peter, just one second.
Sorry.
Let you lead.
Oh, yes, could you just ask? So,
So there were these tenders were passed by council at the regular meeting of the council. There was some inconsistency and some unclear points that needed further clarity. We have now standardized our tender process, and we want to rescind the three and put the other three back online in place of them, Your Worship, and move the files forward. Again, it was just for greater clarity of the outcome of these particular motions.
so, Mr. Kelly, just under design consulting services, you have June 16th, the amount is $182,600. And what was, down the second page, we have 166,000.
Plus all applicable taxes, Your Worship. So-
What's that?
Plus all applicable taxes.
So it's the same amount, right?
What do you add now? Is it just HST?
Yeah, that 166 would add the HST, right? Correct?
So that'll bring it to 199,000.
No, we take off the five, if I could, Richard, Mark,
Yeah,
can
no,
you
no,
further clarify?
that's why Mark's here. This is just to clarify.
Okay, so when the first resolution came forward, it had 10% of the 15% included. Historically, the last few years, we were including resolutions with all taxes in, but on a variety of times, we get tax back, so there was confusion amongst departments whether they needed to have the tax in, the tax out. So that particular resolution had 10% of the 15% included. So we backed it all off for simplicity, and we go with the base cost plus applicable taxes from now on. It's the same cost to the city on this revised resolution, just this confusion around taxes is removed.
Yeah, so is the money in the budget?
Yes.
Yes.
So is it just the wording, because it says it's been previously approved in the 2020 capital budget, and then this one, it just says the amount has been included, so.
So we just
Is it just wording?
removed the reference to whether it was included or not included in the budget. If it wouldn't come forward unless it was included in the budget, or we would tell you that it wasn't included in the budget and we need to ask for a budget increase at the time. That's the logic behind that.
So if you do the calculation, Deputy, it's 10% on the 166, gives you the 182.6, right?
Should be the same number.
Yeah. Where's the 5% GST, Mark?
The 5% GST.
Because we get that back too, don't we?
We do get that back.
The full amount?
The full amount.
And where's that?
And it goes against the project, Your Worship.
Goes against what?
The 5%
Goes against the cost of the project. We capitalize the 10%.
Yeah, it's in the revenue side of the ledger, of the budget, right? Correct.
Yeah.
Is that all right? Question? Okay,
Go.
all in favor? Okay. Councillor McLeod?
So this is first to rescind, right?
So this is to rescind the following motion, that the resolution June 8th, 2020 be rescinded, that as per the conditions of the request for proposals for design consulting services, Public Works Building, the submission of Sable Arc Studios in the amount of $182,600, all taxes included, be accepted, and that this expenditure has been previously approved in the 2020-2021 capital budget, and further that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute any standard contract agreements to implement this resolution.
Good?
Okay. In favor to rescind.
Thank you. Councillor Twill? In favor. Councillor Yankoff?
In favor.
Councillor Bard?
In favor.
Councillor Drawn?
In favor.
Deputy Mayor Cody? In favor. Councillor Duffy?
Favor.
Councillor McCabe?
In favor.
And Councillor Ramsey.
In favor.
9-0.
And Your Worship,
Next one is the
to
same thing.
replace that one it's to move by Councillor Duffy, second by Councillor Yankoff. And as per the conditions of the request proposals for design consulting services, Public Works Building, the submission from Sable Arc Studios, the amount of $166,000 plus all applicable taxes be accepted, and that this amount has been included in the 2020-2021 capital budget. Your Worship.
Okay, question?
Question called.
Councillor McLeod? Yea or
In
nay?
favor.
Councillor Twill?
In favor.
Councillor Yankoff?
In favor.
Councillor Bard?
In favor.
Deputy Mayor Cody? Councillor McCabe?
In favor.
Councillor Drawn?
In favor.
Councillor Duffy?
In favor.
And Councillor Ramsey.
In favor.
Okay.
Your Worship, the next one,
Is supply.
moved by Councillor Duffy, second by Councillor Yankoff. That the following resolution of June 8th, 2020 be rescinded, and that as per the conditions of the quote for supply and install of 19 mobile radios, the submission of Nova Communications in the amount of $25,238.60, all taxes included, be accepted, and that this expenditure has been previously approved in the 2020-2021 capital budget, and further that the mayor and CEO are hereby authorized to execute any standard contract agreements to implement this resolution, Your Worship.
Okay, good. Question? Question called. Okay. Councillor McLeod?
In favor.
Councillor Twill?
In favor.
Councillor Yankoff?
In favor.
Councillor Bard?
In favor.
Councillor Drawn?
Favor.
Deputy Mayor Cody?
In favor.
Councillor McCabe?
In favor.
Councillor Duffy?
In favor.
And Councillor Ramsey.
In favor.
9-0.
And Your Worship, to be placed with moved by Councillor Duffy, second by Councillor Yankoff, that as per the conditions of the quote, supply, and install of 19 mobile radios, the submission of Nova Communications in the amount of $25,230.60, all tax plus all applicable taxes be accepted, and that this amount has been included in the 2020-2021 capital budget. Your Worship.
Okay. Questions, sir?
So in the one we rescinded, the taxes were included, and then in this one, it's plus tax, but the number's the same.
So Mark will explain, Your
Can
Worship.
you explain that, Mark?
Sure. So the 25,238, whatever the number is there, the original one, That was the net cost. The resolution was in error. It said all taxes included, but that wasn't in fact the case in that particular resolution. The quote that we got was 25,238 or whatever the number is, plus taxes. It was just an error made on that. So the revised one is 25 plus applicable taxes, which is equivalent to what the quote was that we received on the radios.
Oh, so the $25,238.60,
Is the net cost to the city.
oh, the net, and then you have to add the taxes to it.
Add the taxes to it.
And is that the 15% or 10%?
Well, you would be adding the 15, we would get the 5 back under the GST rebate, and we would get the 10% back under the municipal capital expenditure grant. So we do get the full 15 back.
Yes. It's called a tax credit import. So the taxes amount to $3,800. That's what would be on top of this.
Correct.
Okay. You get that, sir?
Yep.
Good. Any questions? Okay. Question? Councillor McLeod?
In favor?
Councillor Twill? In favor. Councillor Yankoff?
In favor.
Councillor Rivard?
In favor.
Councillor Drawn?
In favor?
Deputy Mayor Cody? Councillor McKay?
In favor.
Councillor Duffy?
In favor.
And Councillor Ramsey.
In favor.
0, carried.
Your worship, on the next one, moved by Councillor Duffy, second by Councillor Yankoff, that the following resolution of June 8th, 2020 be rescinded. That as per the conditions of the public request for quotations, for one, supply and install plow equipment and transfer system, the submission for parts for truck in the amount of $185,435, all taxes included, be accepted. And that this expenditure has been previously approved in the 2020-21 capital budget. And further, that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute any standard contract agreements to implement this resolution.
Okay. Any questions about this one? Okay. Question? Councillor McLeod?
In favor?
Councillor Twill? In favor. Councillor Yankoff?
In favor.
Councillor Rivard?
In favor.
Councillor Drawn?
In favor?
Mayor Cody? Councillor McKay?
In favor.
Councillor Duffy?
In favor.
Councillor Ramsey?
In favor.
0, carried.
And your worship, moved by Councillor Duffy, second by Councillor Yankoff, that as per the conditions of the public request for quotation, for one, supply and install plow equipment and transfer systems, the submission of parts for trucks, Inc., in the amount of $156,900 plus all applicable taxes be accepted, and that this amount has been included in the 2020-21 capital budget.
Let's fall apart. Question?
Let's go.
Question? Councillor McLeod?
Favor?
Councillor Twill? In favor. Councillor Yankoff?
In favor.
Councillor Rivard?
In favor.
Councillor Drawn?
In favor?
What's that?
In favor?
Okay. In favor. Mayor Cody? Councillor McKay? Councillor Duffy?
In favor?
And Councillor Ramsey.
In favor.
0. That is, sir.
Yes, your worship.
And Councillor Bernard. Okay. Anything else? Let me just go into the closed end.
Have to move into closed session. Your worship.
So, Mr. Bennett, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Scott. Thank you very much for your presence and your...
Good luck, Scott.
Yes, did you know that the news, council?
What happened?
Scott's getting married on Saturday.
Next question is why?
Don't ask that. Good luck, Scott.
Thank you.
And where will the ceremony be? Is it down at the waterfront or at the park?
At the park.
On the docks?
No, we're staying away from the docks. Don't want to get anyone
Okay.
in trouble.
Scott, are you still gonna be able to eat the Vegemite?
What's that?
You still gonna be able to?
Oh, I'm sure we will.
It won't be the same though.
Congratulations.
All the best, Scott.
See you guys.
I'll get the door.
Okay, motion to move into a closed session per section 119 subsection 1A, E, and H of the Municipal Government Act of Prince Edward Island. Moved by Councillor Yankoff, seconded by Councillor McKay. All those in favor? All those against?